Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at how a seemingly casual observation by Danny Ainge in the 1980s, a time when three-point shooting was still an afterthought, actually foreshadowed the revolution that would take over the NBA decades later. And believe it or not, that insight had a major impact on Larry Bird. Yes, the Larry legend himself, and helped shape his approach to basketball's most powerful weapons. This is a story of how Danny Ainge, long before he was pulling off blockbuster trades as an executive, helped plant the seeds for the modern NBA, and what might have happened if Bird had been given the green light to unleash from deep like today's stars. So let's get into it.
Oh, wait a second, off the glass. Give me a break, Larry.
That's right. And if anybody needs $10,000, I'm sure, it's Larry Bird.
Larry Bird, our winner here in the three-point long-distance shootout.
He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money. Yo!
Larry Bird at the buzzer with the two-point ball. 17 to 15. Defends the long-distance shootout crowd at Chicago Stadium.
12 seconds on the shot clock. Larry Bird wants a three-pointer. A three-point shot by Larry Bird. He's hit 3 of them down the stretch.
To understand the significance of Danny Ainge's insight, you have to understand the basketball world of the 1980s. The NBA introduced the three-point line in 1979, which just so happens to be Larry Bird's rookie year. But back then, the three-pointer wasn't embraced as a key part of strategy. It was a gimmick, a novelty, something you tried when the shot clock was expiring, not something you built an offense around. Even the best shooters in the league rarely took more than a couple threes per game. Larry Bird, one of the greatest shooters in NBA history, never averaged more than 3.5 three-point attempts per game. Think about that. Today, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, and James Harden will hoist up more than 10 three-pointers a game and not even blink. Sometimes they'll put up double digits 3 in a single half. The league at the time prioritized paint scoring, physicality, and mid-range shots, not the three-point shot. The goal was to get to the rim, draw fouls, and hit high percentage twos. In that world, the math behind the three-point shot was largely ignored. But Danny Ainge saw things differently. Ainge wasn't just a spark plug off the bench, he was a thinker. And he was one of the few players in the league at the time who understood the mathematical power of the three-point shot. Larry Bird once recalled Ainge saying something that stuck with him to this day. He said you could shoot 35-36% from threes and do better than if you shot 50% from twos. Now, that might sound obvious to us in 2025, but back in the 80s, that was borderline hearsay. Coaches were still running offenses that mimicked the 1970s and before that. The idea that a lower percentage shot could be more effective in the long run and more efficient was hard for many to grasp and wrap their head around. But Ainge had numbers on his side. And while it didn't change the Celtics offense overnight, it did plant a seed that would later grow into the NBA we see today, and a seed especially in the mind of Larry Bird. That single piece of insight helped Bird realize that even limited three-point attempts could dramatically uplift an offense and impact the game. It wasn't simply about volume, it was about timing, spacing, and punishing defenders for sagging off. Larry Bird's three-point game wasn't defined by quantity, it was defined by quality. From 1980 to 1984, Bird didn't even average a full three-point attempt per game. And yet, defenders knew not to leave him open beyond the arc because you'd regret it. And that threat alone was really powerful. As the league began to slowly warm up to the three-point shot, Bird adapted. By the mid to late 80s, he began incorporating the three more regularly in his game. And when the NBA introduced the ThreePoint Contest in 1986, Bird was the obvious favorite, and he delivered.
Larry Bird, our winner here in the three-point long-distance shootout. Congratulations to Larry Bird with 22 points, his best effort of the afternoon. And a deserved hand for Larry Bird.
He won the first ever three-point contest, then followed it up with back-to-back titles in 87 and 88. And let's not forget the iconic moment when he walked into the locker room, looked around at the other contestants, and asked, who's coming in second? Absolute legend. Even late into his career, when his back was so bad that he had to lie down on the sideline during games, Bird was still lethal from deep. In his final season in 1992, he shot over 40% from 3 and made 58 out of 128 attempts. That's not just impressive, that's clinical even for that time. Now here's the fun question. What if Larry Bird had played in today's NBA? In an era where players are encouraged to take 8, 10, even 15 threes a game, what would Bird's numbers have looked like in this modern era? Let's run a little hypothetical. Bird took 1,727 threes over his 13-year career. Meanwhile, Steph Curry between 2015 and 2017 alone attempted 2,321. Let that sink in. Now imagine Larry Bird had the same green light Curry has. Imagine him in an offense that's built around floor spacing, driving, kick, and transition threes. We're talking about a player who already had elite shooting mechanics, incredible court vision, and killer basketball IQ. Give him modern spacing, better training techniques, and a coach who embraces analytics, we might be talking about a guy who averaged 30 plus points a game while shooting 40% from 3 on 10 plus attempts. And think about how much he already achieved in an era that actively suppressed his best skill. This is one of the great what ifs in basketball history. And here's where things come full circle. That early understanding of basketball efficiency, the kind Ainge showed in the 1980s, wasn't a once-off. It was a glimpse into how his mind worked. And it's exactly why he became one of the most successful GMs in league history. Ainge saw where the game was heading before almost anyone else. Years later, when he became the architect of the Celtics front office, he made one of the boldest decisions in modern NBA history, trading aging superstars Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce for a treasure trove of picks. Those picks turned into Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the cornerstone of the Celtics 2024 championship team. That move wasn't just luck, it was a vision. It was the same type of thinking that made him talk to Larry Bird about three-point efficiency all those years ago and decades earlier. Danny Ainge has always been ahead of the curve, no matter how you slice it. In the end, this story is as much about missed timing as it is about his individual brilliance and his basketball mind. Larry Bird had the shooting touch, the confidence, and the mindset to thrive in the modern game, but he played in an era that didn't quite know what to do with his unbelievable skill set and with the three-point shot. And yet, even in that limited environment, he still became one of the greatest shooters of all time. Really, it's a testament to his greatness and a reminder of how much the game has changed. It also shows you how valuable forward-thinking minds like Danny Ainge's can be, both on and off the court and in the front office. So here's the question I'll leave you with. If Larry Bird came into the league today, would he be the best shooter ever or at least rival Steph? Would he challenge Steph's throne? Given everything we know, or would he see an entirely different style of dominance from Larry Legend? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we're bringing new videos every single week. My name is Damian Peters, this is Basketball Network. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.